What's up everyone, it is I, DPX here. Welcome back to another review. Today I'm reviewing The Suicide Squad. This is different from the Suicide Squad film from 2016. Must we never talk about that ever again. This is The Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad, alright? And this movie basically just exists because the director, James Gunn, was fired from Disney and from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise for some offensive tweets that he did, like that are old tweets, and Warner Brothers snatched him up and said, hey, make whatever you want. And he chose Suicide Squad. So, how is this movie? Well, let's find out. Hi guys, DPX here. Welcome to a review of the Suicide Squad. Now, before we get started, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell, and leave a comment, or I'll send you on a suicide mission, which means you will die. So this is sort of a sequel to Suicide Squad from 2016, but also it's like a soft reboot, but it also, I guess, takes place in the same universe. Like, you got Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn back. You have Viola Davis as Amanda Waller back. Rick Flag back, and we got I don't remember his name, but the guy who played Captain Boomerang in the 2016 movie is back in this. That's it. But not only are the actors not back, the characters aren't back either. We don't have Deadshot. Instead, we have Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba, which, I mean, it's obvious what they're trying to do here. They're really making him seem like Deadshot. This isn't Deadshot, this is Bloodsport. But then we get other characters that I would have never thought would be in a fucking DC movie, live action. You get like King Shark, Polka Dot Man, which I think on like the Thundercast a while back, which is an old collab channel between me and Slash. We made a list of Marvel and DC characters you would not believe exist, and I think Polka Dot Man was on there. And he's in this movie. You get Ratcatcher too, by the way. Peacemaker, played by John Cena, and it's like they dug deep with this movie. And then there's a whole other group of characters with like Night Guard, Savan, you know, fucking Weasel, who's terrifying, by the way. And it's just a lot of fun. To be honest, I don't think there's a single moment in this movie where I wasn't enjoying myself. And I think that's like, well, shit, like, that's really good. Now also, I'm gonna say this. It might be the funniest fucking movie I've ever seen in a while. The funniest movie I've seen in a while. Now, obviously, I've watched other movies that are really funny recently, but I mean, like, of movies, like, when they come out, this is the funniest movie I've seen in a while. And no jokes, like, every single joke lands. Like, I was expecting, like, at least one joke not to land, but they all do. They all land. I was even expecting some jokes to sort of be like at the expense of a serious moment. A lot of MCU movies do this, where it's like, you know, you have a serious moment, but then like someone says something funny, and it's haha. It kind of ruins the serious moment. But like, this movie doesn't do that, and I kind of expected it to do that. And one thing I found it bizarre that Peacemaker, John Cena's character, is getting his own series. Like, this was announced far before we even saw anything. Like, we saw that one, like, DC fandom, like, trailer for the Suicide Squad, where it was just a bunch of interviews. We hadn't seen an actual trailer yet for it, and we got announced Peacemaker's getting his own series, which I was kind of like, When I thought about it, and that means they saw something in this character, and like, they saw this character, and they're like, we can make a whole series about him. And I still was very interested to see this character in this movie, and after watching the movie, I can say I am excited for the Peacemaker show. Also, you have a bit of a bond between Ratcatcher and Bloodsport, as well as Ratcatcher and King Shark, and that's the heart of the movie. Believe it or not, behind all like the violence and the humor, there's some heart to this movie, and I like that. But yeah, let's talk about the violence, because oh boy, I love the fact that this movie's rated R. Like, I don't just, I don't like stroke my cock to like fucking blood and gore and shit. I'm not one of those people, but like, you watch Suicide Squad, the 2016 version, which I don't know why you ever would. Don't do that. But just say you did, and you're like, why is this movie rated PG-13? It's like they were holding back so much, it feels like. And then you realize, you know, all the studio interference and shit. Yeah. But then this movie, you know, Warner Brothers, they, as you know, they took James Gunn. Like, you can do whatever you want. Do whatever movie you want, do whatever you want with it. James Gunn went in. He went in with this movie, you know, and it shows. If not just for the characters that are in the movie, like the fact that Polka Dot Man, King Shark, and fucking Weasel are in this movie, it's like, it's also violent. That's what I was talking about, and I kind of got sidetracked. But it's not like, you know, just violence for the sake of violence. Like, it kind of makes a bunch of stuff, like, sort of mean more, if you know what I mean. You kind of, like, there are deaths in this movie, of course. It's called the Suicide Squad. And with, like, when the characters die, it's a bloody and gory death. And it's like, damn, like you feel the death a lot more when it's bloody and gory and shit like that. In the 2016 movie, they killed off like no one. Except they introduced fucking Slipknot, and then 2 seconds later they killed him off. And it's like, well, no. You kill off half the fucking cast. Now, I'm not gonna say if they killed off half the cast or not, but I'm just saying you're foolish. You're just foolish if you think that they're not going to kill off anyone or barely kill off anyone in this movie called The Suicide Squad, which is not the same thing as the one from 2016. We get some deaths here, and they are deaths. And Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, by the way, I think, like, this is perfect. You know, she just plays a complete cunt, and, like, it's like, you kind of just want to see her get fucked up. And I'm not going to say what happens in the movie, but yeah, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller is perfect in this movie. And, you know, you see her, like, be more evil to these characters that are already basically evil. And it's just, like, now she feels like an actual piece of shit. You know, in the original, in Suicide Squad, in the 2016 movie, it was very forgettable. I don't think I can remember anything from that movie except for that one scene in the bar. And even then, it was just like, Guardians of the Galaxy, everybody. Funny how this one's directed by James Gunn, and whatever. I don't remember her being as despicable in that movie as she is in this movie. She's despicable in this movie. And that's good. And Idris Elba as Bloodsport, I like him here as sort of like the straight man, like, around all this craziness, around fucking Polka Dot Man and King Shark and Peacemaker, you know. This 2016 movie popularized Deadshot. I think this is going to make Bloodsport a more popular superhero. And the shit with this gun, his gun is fucking awesome. Especially that one scene. And the fact that Starro is the bad guy in this fucking movie. This giant starfish is just the funniest fucking shit ever. They literally have to take down a giant starfish. I haven't even mentioned King Shark. King Shark's in this. I said he's in the movie, but like, dude, every time he was seen, I'm like, I was just like, yes, we got a scene with King Shark. I want to see him more in the. I want to see him in other things. Like, after seeing the movie, I'm really happy we're seeing a Peacemaker series, but honestly, maybe a King Shark series? I mean, there's not like, Peacemaker is definitely a way more interesting character for a series than King Shark, but I just want to see more King Shark, alright? As for if I have any complaints, because honestly, I really kind of struggled to come up with complaints. Like, I was just having so much fun with this movie. The villains, like, sure, there's Starro, but, like, there are other human bad guys that are sort of like, they're, like, kind of terrorists, what it looks like, I don't know. They were, very two-dimensional. They didn't even speak English. I mean, there are subtitles, of course, but I mean, like, that's probably one reason why they might not have been too memorable. But honestly, like, all the other stuff about this movie, I enjoyed so much. I honestly, like, didn't care too much about the villains until, like, I literally, like, did not even realize that that's kind of an issue until I tried to come up with things I didn't like, because there's so much about this movie I liked. It's like, what do I not like about this movie? Because there's so much good in this movie. So that was my review for the Suicide Squad. To ask which is better, this or the 2016 movie, what the fuck? What kind of question is that? I mean, even before watching this, that was a stupid question. This one had no studio interference. It's almost like, wow, the 2016 movie had a shit ton of studio interference and shit, and was like shit because of it. But this one was like a result of Warner Brothers snatching James Gunn and being like, make whatever movie you want, do whatever you want with it, we won't interfere. You make Suicide Squad. I just realized that's kind of poetic in a way. I thought long and hard about what I'm going to give this movie. I'm going to give it a 9.7 out of 10. That's the highest review score I've given in a long time. I don't... Maybe my opinion will change over time. Maybe I'll give it a 10. Maybe it'll be like, I don't know, maybe it'll go down to a 9.5. I can't see it any lower than a 9 though, because I really didn't have much of a problem with this movie. It was wildly entertaining. It was really funny. It was really gory in a good way. And there's just so much to love about this movie. And the stuff to not like about this movie are really, like, there's so much good you could honestly forget about the bad. I'm not sure if I should give this a 10 out of 10 though, but I really considered it. There's a lot of talk about this movie being the best comic book movie of all time. Kind of critics hyping it up, and it's sort of like, well, let's see. I'm not going to go in with that sort of mindset, because it's like, well, what if it isn't? But what if it's still really good, but what if it isn't, like, that good? Then I kind of set myself up for disappointment. But by going into the movie with the mindset that I did, considering those early reviews, but realizing that might not be exactly true, I enjoyed this movie so much, and it might be my favorite movie of the year. I'm not sure. I really liked Mitchell's vs. the Machines. I didn't review that movie, but man, I should have, because that I'd say might be a 10 out of 10. Yeah, that's my review for the Suicide Squad. I really enjoyed it. I'll honestly watch this again on HBO Max if I wanted to, or I might even go back to the theater. I haven't been uploading a lot lately because I've been very busy with my own personal life, so might not get a chance to go back to the theater, but I'm definitely watching this movie again. So, yeah, have you seen The Suicide Squad? What do you think about it? If you have seen it, if you haven't seen it, do you want to see it, do you not want to see it? And if you have, do you like it, do you not like it? Whatever. If you don't like it, what do you not like about it, Anything about the movie, let me know down below. Anyways, be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.